Good morning. We're here with the mother of the late Christopher Bhagwandat, who was killed in an accident at the Mahaika Bridge in earlier this year. And we're going to talk with the mother to get a idea how she's feeling. Today is Mother's Day, and how it has been so far. Good morning.
Good, good morning to the world at large. Good morning to my fellow Guyanese citizens. I'm the mother of Christopher Bhagwandat that was murdered on the Mahaika Bridge by the police on the 2nd of February 2022. At this point in time, today is Mother's Day. I have to spend it without my only child that is gone. He was a loving son to me. He was a God-fearing child. I grew him up. He was born on the 27th of February 2001, and from the time he was born, I care my child. A fly couldn't light on him, and I brought him up in the fear and the admiration of God. He grew up in the Monrepo Assemblies of God Church. He was a member there. He was a Sunday school teacher. And my son was the breadwinner for my home at one time because my husband was a diabetic for 15 years, and then 7 years in 2014 my husband went to work and came home and he got a stroke, and since then my husband never worked back. My son used to attend the Annandale Secondary School, and when he was going to write CXC, that is when the father gets strokes. And he came out of school. He said he wanted to work, he wanted to learn a trade because he wanted to carry on the home. And I told him no. The father told him no, and he said yes, he wanted to, and he went. He said he wanted to trade. He wanted to do mechanic, welding, and driving. And he went to his godparents there, and he was doing welding there for a year and a half. He learned, and then he said, I ready for my mechanic work, and he went to Vicky workshop, and he worked there for actually 4 years before his demise. And he was carrying on the home from 2014 until 2022 when he died. When the father passed away September the 3rd, 2021, he continued to take the responsibility of the home, and he was living with me. Me and him alone was living upstairs at my mother's home because my mother was outside. And since my son demise, my mother paper wasn't fixed. She came back. She had to chuck in everything and came back to stay with me because I have no one here with me to stay. And my son was a loving child. And I encourage parents to keep close to your children. Keep very close to your children. Pray for them. Every minute, every spare time you have, pray for them. Right now, I don't have my son with me. My son was a blessing. He was a blessed child. He was a loving child. We would go to the market. He would come home. Sometimes he would help me sweep the house. And his routine from since he was small growing up, in the morning he get up, he would make his bed, my bed. He would pick up both nettings, and in the night he do the same. He would put down the netting, he will make the bed, he will pull out my gray hair when he come from work. He would look at his father, he would cut his hair with a machine, he will do everything. He was such a loving child. My son don't drink, he don't smoke, and I don't know. As the saying goes, God loved him more than me, and God took him. But I cannot say. I am very disappointed. I have no income coming. I'm living right now with my mom, and I don't have words to say. Last year Mother's Day, the Sunday before Mother's Day, the on the 9th, I think it was, he sent me to church. He told me go to church, and I was in church. And when I came out of church, when church finished, I find the door locked, I find the key, and I opened and I came in the house, and I didn't see the father or him. So I decided to call, and when I called, he said he coming home just now. And when he came home, like about half an hour after, we normally would mind our pet does be a parrot, and we had one, and the forest parrot passed away in November the year before. So I told him I want a parrot, and he went till to Perica and he buy one exact the same that I I had before, and he paid 25,000 for that parrot, and I have it upstairs. That was my last Mother's Day gift that he gave to me last year, a parrot, and he gave me a cup mark love. We cook, we eat. Normally Mother's Day, Father's Day, birthday, we would cook. He loved his fancy dishes. So normally we would cook and eat, and that would be our normal trend. He would spend it home with us.
I know this is a near hard time for you. What advice would you give to mothers out there who would have lost their child, some by whatever, however they would have lost them? And how have you been holding up?
Well, am I been holding up? If I tell you, you wouldn't believe me. I have my bed, I have my room, but I cannot sleep. If I sleep 50 minutes for 24 hours, that's enough. I have my settee, the long one. That is where I sleep. I get up there in the morning. I tidy it up. I go and I brush my teeth. I would have a shower, and then I come back right there. I will sit. If my mother or my cousin wife that spending a couple day with me, if she give me a little food, I would eat. If not, I don't have the mind to go and take anything. I cannot eat. I cannot drink. I There is no happy moments for me, because every time I try to laugh, I remember my son, I remember my husband, and it's not a happy, nothing is happy for me. It could be what I get, nothing can take the place, especially of my son. I know my husband was sick, he was a diabetic, he worked hard, but his time reached and he had to go, he gone and rest. But with my son, he reached nowhere in life, and his life was snuffed out from him. He was murdered. I would not say it's an accident, but he was murdered. He was murdered, and the world know that, and the world stands with me. And I want to say thank you to the whole world at large. Thank you to my fellow Guyanese citizen that is standing up with me, and that is holding up with me, and plenty word of encouragement. Everybody that call, even today, even the funeral, that call and say something or give me something or the other. I want to say thank you so much. Thank you for your word of encouragement and everything. But nothing can bring back my son. My son was a gem. He was an angel. And my son never cursed nobody. My son was a respectable child. Anywhere you can walk the street, you can walk the road, and they can tell you. Because you know how I know my son was respectable? When you see that wake nights, and I come out and I go and I reach people. I reach some young man his age or a little bit more big, and I would hold him by the beard, because I normally play with his beard. I would say, son, where are you from? They're gonna tell me, and then they're gonna say, auntie, you don't know we, but we know your son. Your son is a gem. He was in the PYO group, the Progressive Youth Organization. It have a video on where he was he dressed in a green, I think, as the Grinch or something. He dressed. Every year he would go out with them to share kite. They would share gifts to children. Then the workplace would do it. And that is how he lived his life. He lived his life as a loving child. I don't think I can ever get back a child like him. Never, never, but I hope and I pray. I have hopes that I'm going to see him coming home one day. That is my hopes. Every day I tell my mother he's going to come home just now. He's going to come home. It might sound as a joke, or it might sound as though I'm crazy, but I'm not crazy. I know that one day he's going to come home. I don't know.